which led to the installation of 21 kings by the state governor, Abiola Ajimobi, but the OC Olubadan of Ibadan land, Rashidi, challenged the composition and recommendations of the commission in court, joining Ajimobi as co-defendant. While delivering judgment, Aiki held that wearing of beaded crowns is beyond the purview of sections 10, 12, and 25 of the Oyo State Chief's Law, stating that section 25 of the Chief's Law could not be treated in isolation to the provisions of parts 2 and 3 of the Chief's Law. The court also said provisions of parts 2 and 3 of the Chief's Law, particularly sections 10, 12, and 25, do not give power to the governor to review the Olubadan Chieftaincy Declaration, while also restraining the government from accepting and implementing the reports of the commission. On legal matters, the Federal High Court Abuja has adjourned until February 6 the trial of erstwhile chairman of Dar Communications PLC, Raymond Dokwesi, over alleged 2.1 billion naira fraud. Justice John Soho fixed the dates after the 11th prosecution witness, Mr. Gabriel Agoye, testified today. Agoye, led in evidence by the prosecuting counsel, Mr. Rotimi Jacob, the senior advocate of Nigeria, said that he withdrew 40 million naira for Dokwesi from his first bank account. On the cross-examination, Mr. Kanu Agabi, a senior advocate of Nigeria, the witness told the court that he did not know the source of the monies that he withdrew for Dokwesi from his account. Meanwhile, the trial of Chukwudumeme Onwamadike, also known as Evans, and his alleged accomplices was today adjourned until March 2. Justice Hakim Oshodi adjourned the trial due partly to the fact that Okuchukwu Nwachukwu, a co-defendant, had yet to secure legal representation. Reports say Mr. Anselm Dono, brother of Mr. Donatus Dono, a victim, was scheduled to be cross-examined today by the defense counsel. He was, however, not fully cross-examined by the defense because of the absence of Nwachukwu's lawyer. Evans and Nwachukwu are standing trial alongside Uche Amadi, Ogechi Ochechukwu, Chilaka Ifeanyi, Victor Aduba on a 2-count charge of conspiracy and kidnapping. In the meantime, the movement for the actualization of the sovereign state of Biafra, MASIB, has called on the federal government to stop witch-hunting the former First Lady, Dame Patience Jonathan, describing what she was going through as sheer character assassination. MASIB leader, Comrade Uchenna Amado, in a statement, government's aim was to demoralize her because of her rise in profile. MASIB said it is aware that Mrs. Patience Jonathan is experiencing attacks by the Buhari-led federal government because they see her as a primary engine block of former President Jonathan, who should not have ruled Nigeria. MASIB therefore advised the people of Eastern region to imbibe the spirit of defending their own. In other news, the governor of Borno State, Kashim Shettima, led northern governors to beg Benue State Governor Samuel Otom not to resign from the Nigeria Governors Forum over herdsmen killings in the state. It was the first move from governors in north since Fulani herdsmen killed 73 people in Benue. The visit came after South-South, South-East, South-West, and Middle Belt stakeholders condoled with Governor Otom on the tragic incident. Shettima was accompanied on the trip by governors of Kaduna, Kogi, and Plateau states. The Deputy Governor of Osun State, Mrs. Grace Titilawi Tomori, also visited the Benue State Governor. Boko Haram jihadists have killed 5 people in an attack on a village in Adamawa State. A group of 10 militants stormed Kaya village in the Madagali area late last night and broke into 2 homes, killing 4 people. A former Madagali local government chairman, Maina Ularama, told newsmen another resident was shot dead when he tried to come to the rescue of the victims. The eyewitnesses disclosed that the gunmen looted medical supplies at the village clinic before fleeing into the bush. The Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, has appointed the former Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Fatai Owosheni, as the new Commissioner of Police, Benue State Command. The IGP said the new Benue CP, Fatai Owosheni, will replace Bashir Makama as the new CP in the state. Recall that Owosheni was replaced as the Lagos CP by the current Lagos police boss, Imohime Edgo, in September last year. However, the appointment and deployment of Owosheni to Benue may be unconnected with the recent attacks by herdsmen in the state. The chairman of Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, says the commission has 74 million voters in its register by the second week of January. The INEC Director of Voter Education and Publicity, Mr. Oluwole Osazi Uzi, made the fact known in a statement in Abuja today. The chairman said the figure was expected to reach between 80 and 85 million by 2019 because of the ongoing nationwide continuous voter registration. INEC is set to launch the schedule for the 2018 gubernatorial election and the 2019 national election on Thursday next week, and to give the political parties the endorsed timetable for the gubernatorial elections for 2018. The Administrative Secretary of INEC in Osogbo, Barrister Emmanuel, made this known at the INEC headquarters in Osogbo during a courtesy visit by the CEO of Rave FM, Mr. Femi Adefila, and staff of the organization today. Here's the report by Joseph Atewe.
The Admin Secretary of the Independent Electoral Commission, INEC Osun State, Barrister Emmanuel Ademushere, has commended Rave FM for the strength of information and wide coverage. Barrister Emmanuel Ademushere stated this while receiving in audience the CEO of Rave FM, Mr. Femi Adefila, and some senior staff of the station at the INEC headquarters in Osogbo. Barrister Emmanuel, who also disclosed that INEC will have an ISEC meeting on Thursday, the 25th of January, with all political parties and launch its schedule for the 2018 gubernatorial election in Osogbo State and the 2019 national election, stressed on the importance of information, applauding the station for not being politically inclined.
This meeting is coming nearly a few days. I was inviting my head of EPM for us to sit down because come Thursday, we think we should have a nice meeting with all the political parties. This is to enable us formally to launch the timetable. We of Osun here, we have two timetables to launch. We want to launch the two of them together. To launch is to give them publicly the endorsed timetable for the gubernatorial elections.
The CEO of Rave FM, Femi Adefila, stated that they were on a courtesy visit to intimate with the Commission for the recent success and also pledged support to the Commission in the busy year of elections. The CEO, who also promised to bring top functionaries of the Commission to Rave FM political program, also stated that they recognize the Commission and the partnership must be there to make the forthcoming election free, fair, and credible.
We believe it's high time and it's auspicious that we come around to interface with the headship of this institution. You are key and you are germane to survival of our democracy, and your work is very important. And as a media organization, we cannot function effectively without you. We recognize the enormous work you've been doing in shaping our democracy. We appreciate it, and we know we must work together and forge collaboration and partnership.
The Commission promised that the 2018 governorship election in Osun State will be free, fair, and credible. Joseph Atewe, Rave FM News.
Still in Osun, students of the Obafemi Awolowo University, OAU, have been left in a dilemma as to whether the scheduled rain semester examinations will hold or not amidst the ongoing national strike by the Joint Action Committee of Non-Teaching Staff. The National Public Relations Officer of the Non-Academic Staff Union of Universities, Comrade David Ayejinyo, while speaking with journalists, said no examination would hold. According to him, a meeting was held on Tuesday and a consensus reached. All activities must be crippled. It will be recalled that the controversy started after the federal government released a 23 billion naira earned allowance to university workers with an 89% to 11% sharing ratio for the academic and non-academic staff. And while the Kaduna State wing of the Nigeria Union of Teachers says the 21,780 primary school teachers sacked by Governor Nasir El-Rufai should reapply, the state NUT chairman Audu Mba told newsmen in Kaduna today that the affected teachers would reapply, sit for another examination, and if passed, they will be reinstated to their various positions. Mba said Governor El-Rufai had directed the State Universal Basic Education Board to open a window for the sacked teachers in its continuous recruitment program. According to him, it is a new window of opportunity for the affected teachers to be reinstated. In the meantime, the Jigawa state government has presented letters of appointment to 330 newly recruited senior secondary school teachers in the state. The spokesman, Office of the State Head of Civil Service, Alhaji Ismail Ibrahim, disclosed this in a statement in Dutse today. While presenting the letters to the employees, the HOS, Alhaji Mohammed Inua, noted that those recruited were in areas of English language, mathematics, and other science subjects. He said the gesture was part of the present administration's effort to address shortage of manpower in the education sector. In Ondo State, the government in Akure received 23 indigents of the state who were among Nigerian returnees from Libya. The state governor, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, who received the returnees, assured them that government would provide adequate support. Akeredolu, who was represented by his deputy, Mr. Agbola Ajayi, thanked the senior special assistant to the president on foreign affairs and diaspora, Abike Dabiri, for bringing back thousands of Nigerians from Libya. Akeredolu said the state government was already doing all that was necessary. The returnees were already going through debriefing. On the foreign scene, a South African court today struck down a long-running effort by late President Nelson Mandela's ex-wife, Winnie Madikizela Mandela, to claim ownership of his former rural home. Reports say the Supreme Court of Appeal dismissed her appeal against the lower court's ruling that she was not the rightful owner of the property in his childhood village. Mandela, the country's first democratic president, spent much of his early years in Gunu in the Eastern Cape province after being born nearby. He regularly returned to the village after his retirement and was buried there in 2013. In his will, the anti-apartheid icon left the house to his family trust, but Madikizela Mandela claimed it belonged to her under customary law because it was bought in 1989 while they were still married. In the United States, Defense Secretary James Mattis has said competition between great powers, not terrorism, is not the main focus of America's national security. He said this while unveiling the National Defense Strategy that the U.S. faced growing threats from revisionist powers as different as China and Russia. In an aberrant reference to Russia, he warned against threatening America's experiment in democracy. America has been gripped by ongoing investigations into alleged collusion between the Trump 2016 election campaign and Russia. Turkey has intensified its shelling of Kurdish militia in northern Syria ahead of the threatened ground offensive driving them out of the area. The Syrian Kurdish People's Protection Units disclosed 70 shells were fired overnight. Turkey has for months said it would clear YPG fighters from Afrin under Kurdish control since 2012 and regards the YPG as a terrorist group. Turkish Defense Minister Nurettin Kanikli said that the shelling was the de facto start of a planned invasion of Afrin.
And now for business news.
In business, the Securities and Exchange Commission has extended the deadline for the free electronic dividend e-dividend registration to February 28, 2018. The Commission said in a statement that the further extension was part of its developmental efforts to encourage more shareholders to key into the initiative. According to SEC, the review of the progress in the e-dividend registration exercise after the December 31, 2017 deadline showed that there was still a great influx of shareholders desirous of mandating their bank accounts for payment of dividends electronically. The International Energy Agency today said the United States is set to overtake Saudi Arabia as the world's #2 oil producer this year. The IEA said crude production of 9.9 million barrels per day in the U.S. was now at the highest level in nearly 50 years, putting it neck and neck with Saudi Arabia, the world's second-largest crude producer after Russia. It said relentless growth should see the U.S. hit historic highs above 10 million barrels per day, overtaking Saudi Arabia and rivaling Russia during the course of 2018. A global supply glut pushed oil prices as low as $30 per barrel at the start of 2016, but producing nations struck a deal at the end of 2016 to cut back production and drive prices higher. Geopolitical tensions and a reduction in oil stocks have also contributed to the recovery.
This is Spotlight.
Welcome to to sports, Sergio Roberto has signed a 3-year contract extension with Barcelona, tying him to the leaders of La Liga until 2022. Barcelona said the deal included a $614 million buyout clause for the 25-year-old whose exiting deal was due to expire in 2019. Spanish press report said that the deal had included a buyout clause worth just 30 million euros, a figure that made them vulnerable to approaches from rival clubs. The announcement comes just a day after Barcelona revealed that Gerard Piqué had extended his contract by 3 years to 2022. Pele is in hospital after collapsing due to exhaustion, preventing him from traveling to London for an engagement this weekend. The English Football Writers Association revealed today that the 77-year-old, a 3-time World Cup winner, collapsed yesterday and is being monitored in hospital in Brazil. According to sources, the FWA were due to host a dinner in his honor. Pele has undergone a series of tests which appear to point to severe exhaustion. He has become increasingly frail in recent years and was unable to light the Olympic flame at the opening ceremony of the 2016 Games due to ill health. In tennis, defending champions Roger Federer has swept into the Australian Open third round yesterday. Swiss 19-time Grand Slam champion Federer disposed of John Leonard Struff 6-4, 6-4, 7-6, avoiding the worst of the furnace-like conditions in his night match.
There's maybe 60 guys asking for stuff, so I'm one of those guys, yes. But it's not my call. It's their call. I wouldn't have mind to play during the day. I hope I thrive under those conditions too, because if you want to get to the top, you got to be able to play in all conditions. But sure, it's helpful to play.
While Federer had made at least the third round each year since its Melbourne Park debut in 2000, Struff had failed to go further than the second round at any Grand Slam.
Now, entertainment news.
An entertainment Nigerian songwriter and singer Oluwatobi Ojosikwe, popularly known as Wande Cole, has released a new music video titled Turkey Nla. The former Maven's record man took to his Twitter handle to announce the release of a video stating Turkey Nla video was out. The colorful 3 minutes and 57 seconds video features Olamide's Shaku Shaku dance in all forms. It was directed by a multi-award-winning music video director Olalekan Buhari, popularly known as Unlimited LA. Still on entertainment, Big Brother Niger 2017 winner Mitchell Ejeba, also known as Efe, and top rapper Olamide, also known as Bado, have shot the music video for the collaboration titled Worry. The video, shot by Avalon Okwe, featured King Bado and Efe, who both have ties to the hood hits the streets. Efe represented his area, Worry, further by reiterating in this new track alongside Bado. The track was produced by Young John and Dr. Set.
Guys, for you, I'm not blind, but now only you IDC. Love you simple for days like ABC.
Before we end the news, here is a recap of our top stories. An Oyo State High Court presided over by Justice Olajumoke Aike has declared the review of the 1957 Olubadan Chieftaincy Declaration and other related chieftaincies in Ibadan land by the Justice Akintunde Boade Review Commission, which was settled by the Oyo State government as unconstitutional, void, and of no effect. The Governor of Borno State, Kashim Shettima, led northern governors to beg Benue State Governor Samuel Otom not to resign from the Nigeria Governors Forum over herdsmen killings in the state. Boko Haram jihadists have killed 5 people in an attack on a village in Adamawa State. And on the foreign scene, we brought you news that the South African court today struck down the long-running effort by late President Nelson Mandela's ex-wife, Winnie Madikizela Mandela, to claim ownership of his former rural home. And just before we go, did you know New Guinea is the largest divided sea island in the world? It is the world's second largest island after Greenland, covering a land area of 785,753 kilometers square. That ends the news at 6 on Rave 91.7 FM. You can visit our website on ravefmng.com to listen to us live and interact with us. To watch live happenings in our studios, log into our page on youtube.com/rave917 FM Oshogo. I am Stella Bolarinwa, thanking you for your time.
And that was the news at 6 on Rave 91.7 FM. For contact with the newsroom, please call or email 0703 175 9175. News at rave917.fm. Now.
Sound is everything.
The new definition of culture, quality, and sound on the airwaves.
91.7 Rave FM.
I'm coming in, Greg. I'm putting the work on the phone.
91.7 Rave.
You want to break it down. You want to break it down. There's a time for the hustle. There's a time for the kilo. Oya kalo bobu. Because body no be machine. No forget your ginger. You better bring your body. No forget your lover. You better tell your baby. We be grooving like say. Today we get holiday. They ask you waiting there. Okay, let me say. Hip hop the sun come down. Hip hop wave your hands in the air. Hip under the rain. Tell everybody say we go there. Hip hop There's a time for the bedu. Oh, while I am a badu. No darling, please no fronting. You go follow me, make with the jolly. Oh. No forgetting your ginger.